Hey, fellow rock tumbling enthusiasts, it's Evelyn from Crystal Wellness Studios, and I wanted to give you a quick update on what's been going on the last month or so. September 26th, we had stopped production because we were going on a 2-week vacation, and we didn't want the tumblers running when we weren't, home. So, what I had done before we left is I had cleaned all the barrels and prepped them all for when we got back. I had recharged all the barrels. Everything was in stage 1 or pre-stage 1. So I just had all the stones rinsed really well. The media was rinsed well for those barrels that were getting media. I put in borax for every barrel. Because we had done previously in September, we had done an experiment using borax to see if it actually did any good or not. And I found that it helps clean the barrels really, really well. It really cuts down on the time. A lot less scrubbing, it was wonderful. I have hard water here, and it seems like the borax is reducing the water tension. And when it does that, the slurry tends to be a little bit thicker, and all the barrels were really thick, and so it was really nice. So I was really happy with that. So back to what I did. I had put grit for the barrels. I had put the borax in, and I just didn't put any water in it. I let them sit dry for the whole time we were gone on vacation. When we got back, I was sick for a week, so I didn't really do anything. They still sat on the workbench, just prepped and ready to go. All they needed was water. So on the 10th of October, I went ahead and added water to the barrels and put them on the tumblers, and then just got really busy. And normally, as you know, we run 7-day cycles. And Tuesday it was, which would have been our 7-day cycle, it was snowing and 36 degrees. Which was 6 weeks too early for snow where I live. So the weather was really cold, and I didn't feel like going outside and cleaning the barrels, so I let them run. And I let them run till Friday, which is today, so it is October 21st. So those barrels have been running for 11 days. I did not know what to expect when I went out to clean them. What I found was delightful information. The slurry was super thick. There was no leftover grit. All the grit had been used up, and the stones cleaned super easy. The barrels cleaned effortlessly. I did have to use a toothbrush on a couple of lid rims, but nothing bad. Just so the lower tone rims, this edge right here, I had to use a toothbrush to clean off on a couple of them, but most of them it was super, super easy. So now we're ready to do the inspections, but I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update because there was a big time lapse there. And so we're ready to dig in. Let's get going. Everything we have is in our I have 2 barrels in pre-stage 1, which is the 4670 silicone carbide grit, and the rest of the barrels are in stage 1, which is 6090 silicone carbide grit. And we get our grits from the rock shed. I know a lot of people ask where we get our stuff. And then there's absolutely nothing in stage 2, 3, 4, or 5. Nothing. So they're all basically new projects that we started in the last, technically week or two. We did order a Diamond Pacific Minisonic vibrating tumbler back in August, and it has been on back order, and it did arrive when I got back from vacation. I have not unboxed it yet, so there's going to be a video coming up on that. And let's get started. So I'm really excited because we're going to be tweaking processes, and we'll start showing you how to use a vibrating tumbler also in our videos. So I hope everybody enjoys. I hope everybody's staying safe and having a really good fall. All right, let's get to the barrels. Okay, we are back with our Carnelian. It has been running in pre-stage 1, 4670 silicone carbide grit with no ceramic media, but borax has been added to the mix for a thicker slurry, and I'm really, really happy about that. It has been running, let's see. The first week it ran 7 days, and then the second run it ran for 11 days. So that's 18 days. So a little over 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, and I'm loving the progress on these stones. Now they're wet because they've just rinsed them off. Most of the host rock is gone. A lot of the shaping is done, but you can see there's still a little bit in here. And there's a lot of quartz on this one. Boy, I'm just dumbfounded by how beautiful these are looking already. Here's a lovely agate piece. Look at all the banding on that. Woo! Dang, I really like that. And then here's some of the host rock. I think I'm thinking that I'm not gonna let these go forever like we normally do, to get out every single little pit and crack and whatever, because it's kind of nice seeing what the host rock looks like. But I have to also remind myself that those pits are not going to polish. Boy, this is really, really quartzy. Look at this big quartzy piece. So looking at this wet, this is pretty much what I can expect when it dries. So those cracks and pits are not going to polish. So I can let them run forever, for weeks and weeks and weeks. In the, stage 1 to grind all that down, or I can live with it. So I kind of got a choice to make here. Because to grind all that down, we're going to lose all the rest of it. And I don't know if I really want to sacrifice this beautiful banding just to get rid of this. I mean, it's the nature of Carnelian. So it has to be, a lot of this could be personal preference. Like this, I don't like any of this. But how much of the stone am I, how much of this beautiful banding am I willing to sacrifice to get rid of that? This looks like that might be easier to come off. It might just need another week or two. I mean, it's really early days. It's only been rolling 2.5 weeks. A lot more progress than I thought we would have. Wow, look inside that. Really cool inclusions. Even this host rock looks pretty. Not crazy about the pits, but this is really interesting. This almost looks like howlite. That's a really interesting piece. You can see the cracks in this. Fault lines. I like that quartz seam in this one. Goes all the way around. wonder if that would qualify as a wishing stone. Although it's interrupted. It's interrupted with this line, so probably not. So yeah, so we've got, you know, some little pieces that have broken off, which we had expected. Oh, the green one. I don't see that too often. That almost looked like it would have cracked. Now, when this runs a little longer, I bet you the banding is going to come out, be more pronounced once we get another layer off. It's pretty cool. I like how translucent that is. Okay, so the Carnelian's doing beautifully. It's going back in the 40, you know what? I think I'm done with pre-stage 1. I'm going to do this in stage 1, and I'm going to add ceramic media to it, I think. Depends how full the barrel is. I'm going to remove some of these little tiny pieces for the Zen garden. These ones can be Zen garden projects right here. This goes for the chip project that we have going. And that's a really big piece for a Zen garden. All the rest of this, you can see how it kind of dulls when the color, or when the water dries. Ooh, wow. Hang on. Get my spray bottle out here. Look at that one. Oh my gosh, that is so freaking cool. Okay. Yeah. That's interesting. Look at all that. Almost looks orbicular. Pretty nifty. Okay. We're going to put it in a wash cycle. And then we're going to move it up to stage 1, the 6090 silicone carbide grit, and we're going to let it run for a week. And cool beans. All right, let's move on to the next one. And we're back with our green tree moss agate, which has been running for 18 days total in 4670 pre-stage 1 silicone carbide grit. It ran first cycle for 7 days, the second cycle for 11 days, with no ceramic media, but I did add borax. I added 3 tablespoons because it was a 3-pound barrel, which cleaned out beautifully, and it was a really nice thick slurry, so I was really happy with that. So let's take a look and see if this pre-stage 1 is really shaping the way I was hoping it would. It is such a dark green, it's almost black. We're seeing, you know, there's still some rough edges I'd like to see come off. There's little imperfections that I'm not all that pleased with. But again, it's only been running like 18 days, so all told. Wow, that's super rough, and it's a different texture. That is going to cause undercutting. this one's going to require a lot more work. Some of these are moving along nicely. I do not believe it's going to need more time in 4670. I think I will be moving this to regular stage 1, the 6090 silicone carbide. That's an interesting white host rock. First I thought it was slurry, but it's not. Oh, this is nice. There's a lot of a pattern emerging from here. This might be my favorite piece. A druzy pocket. Little vug there. A smaller piece. I'm not seeing chips in the barrel. I didn't notice any chips when I was cleaning it. But it is going to require more work. So real quick here, we're just going to be popping this back into a quick wash and then moving it to the stage 1 6090 silicone carbide grit. Let it run for a week and we'll see how it's doing. It's nice to see that there's patterns emerging. I'm not seeing a lot of pits. Where did that piece go that I just had in my hand? Had a pit. Here it is. Here's a couple little pits I'm going to want worked out. But overall, the rough doesn't look to be super pitty. There's a few pieces that have got a weird texture. And hoping that's going to get worked out. Oh, this is really nice. You can kind of see inside of it. That quartz is kind of clear, so you can kind of see the inclusions deep inside there. Camera's not really picking it up. Okay. Super simple. Wash cycle and move to 6090. And that is it for what we have in pre-stage 1 this week. So, yay! Green tree, moss agates moving forward. Alright, we'll be right back. And we're back with our Australian lace agate, which has been 18 days in 4670 silicone carbide. Thought it was in 6090, but really it was in 4670. So, yay, we had 3 barrels, not 2 this week in pre-stage 1. Anyway, I love this stuff. I love the colors. I like how vibrant it is. I like the patterns. There's nothing I don't like about this Australian lace. It was in a, had borax added to the slurry, and it was nice and thick. It has done a beautiful job. The stones look really nice and clean. There's some host rock left, obviously. I mean, it's only been 2 weeks. But I think this can definitely be moved forward. I'm going to put it in a wash cycle. And I'm going to put it into stage 1, 6090, to do some more fine shaping and get rid of little tiny pits and cracks and whatever. I'm really, really pleased with this stuff. It's beautiful. Just stinking gorgeous. I mean, look at that. Yep, it's definitely going to need a couple wash cycles and then move forward. And I'm going to add ceramic media. There has been no ceramic media to this point in this. Gosh. Dang it. This is beautiful. Whew. I could look at this all day. Wow. This is wet because we just, rinsed them off. And I'm just tickled pink with this stuff. I mean, we've got some slurry in this still. I have to wash that bug out really well. I have to get my 4670 scrub brush and clean that, because that'll just turn to cement. We don't want that to happen. Woo! Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. This is that piece that I think is my favorite. It's feeling a little grainy. I don't think I rinsed this as well as I should have. I'm feeling little bits of grit. Boy, is it packing a punch. All right, let's get this baby in some wash cycles. And move it to stage 1 to 4670. Wow. I am seeing some pits in here, so I'm going to want to give this a really good hand scrub before I put it in a wash cycle. It's not quite as important at the pre-stage 1 to stage 1 as it is when it gets to pre-polishes for grit contamination, because we're still going to be doing, grinding. But, wow. This stuff is so amazing. Goodness. Look at these. Got it magnified here. Because it's just so awesome. All right. Australian crazy lace. Or not crazy, just lace. Australian lace agate. We're going to do a real good scrub with a toothbrush, and then we're going to put it through a couple of wash cycles, and then we're going to put it into stage 1 6090 silicone carbide grit, and we will see it next week. Okay, we're back with our Zebradorite Feldspar, which has been running, let's see, 4.5 weeks. It's done 3 cycles in stage 1 6090 silicone carbide, which was 21 days, and then it ran 11 days and this last cycle. So yeah, there's that. Okay. There has been some ceramic media added this last time. Looks fantastic. No problems with that. But let's take a look at these gorgeous stones. I think these are ready for a wash cycle and to move forward to 120, which would be stage 2. 122. Look at how beautiful this is. Now they're wet because, they just came out of the rinse cycle. It's dry. You can kind of see by following the when they're wet, you can find the imperfections easier when it's dry because it's such a heavily patterned stone. Whew. Absolutely loving this. I would almost, If I were unseasoned, I would want to move this to a pre-polish. But I know that it needs a week in the 120-220 because the surface needs to be prepped to take the pre-polish. And there's just, you could feel with your finger just the barest little tiniest bit of, you know, little scratches and whatnot, like this little right in here. That looks like looks like pyrite. Yeah, just a little tiny bit that the 120-220 is going to smooth out and make it even more perfect, like that right there. I really don't think this needs any more time in stage 1. I love this pink piece. Now, I mentioned before, you know, that we do experiments and whatnot. And one of the experiments we did was with borax. And I'm going to be talking a lot about it this week. I'm very happy with it. It makes the cleanup super easy. It made the slurry nice and thick. And, ooh, look at that. I see some chatoyancy in there. Ooh, almost like a moonstone. Yeah, so I'm going to be adding borax every stage for 2 reasons. The thicker slurry, which helps the grit do its job. As you can see, it's perfecting everything. And it makes cleanup so stinking easy. It's like literally just a quick rinse and I'm done. No longer scrubbing. And with winter coming, that's nice. I don't want to have to scrub in the winter. It's just a little tiniest bit right there. Can I get that? Yeah. It's right here. It's impossible to see. Gosh, I'm tickled pink. Well, this has got a crevice. It's like a cleavage. See the cleavage line on that? Hopefully it won't get knocked off. But we're going to put it in 120. I mean, if that knocks off, that could damage the surface of other stones, but I'm going to add a lot of ceramic media to help cushion. There's a little bit right there. But I'm not going to leave it in 60-90 just for that. Not today. Wow, we're going to move this forward. It just has such a nice feel in the hands. It's a little pebble. There's a crevice in here that I would normally keep it, come on, keep it in 60-90 for. We'll see. We'll put it in 120 and see what happens. Oh gosh. This makes me nervous. I might end up pulling this one out. See that hole right there? And it's leading to a crack. It's going right here. That whole tip could be jeopardized. Gosh, I can feel it. Will it break off in my hand? Oh, it did. It broke off in my hand. I was trying to do that over. I guess this is not going forward. I'll set that on the side. The rock dust. That can be added to the chip pile. See, sometimes you can just tell when there's going to be a problem. And if had that gone forward and broken in the while tumbling, it could have damaged the surface on the other stones. Come on, focus. And that's why we inspect every stone, because you don't know what you're going to find. Getting little pieces of rock dust here. Gosh, these are really, really super cool patterns on this Zebradorite Feldspar. There's a couple little things. I think the stage 2 will help continue to smooth some of that out. Not 100% sure. There's another. There's damage all along that seam. Come on, focus. Oh, see, this is that one that had those little indents in there, and now it's washing away, eroding. And this whole tip, I think, is going to end up doing what that other stone did. So let's just pull it out right now. I do like these pinky pieces. There's a whole section right here that's rough to the thumb, rough to the feel, right here on the edge. Come on, focus. The rest of the stone feels really good. I am so happy and pleased with the stone. All right. I think what we're going to do is do a wash cycle and move it to stage 2. That's 3 things moving forward today so far. Yay! All right, we'll see this lovely stuff next week. And we're back with our salmon or peach moonstone. It has been running... What's it been running in? 60-90 for 11 days, stage 1 for 11 days. It did a stint for 1 week in pre-stage 1 in the 4670 silicone carbide, and then it did an 11-day cycle in the 60-90 stage 1. So I am pretty interested. There was the ceramic media looks fantastic. No problems there. No chippage, really. I didn't see any chips in the barrel. So far, so good. Now let's see if this is ready to move to stage 2. Still has some things I'd like to work out there. But it's feeling really nice. Nice thick slurry because the borax was added. And this is running in our little 1.5 pound barrel. There's a little bit there. Oh, I think we have some that are ready and some that are not. It's a cleavage line. That's just a piece of quartz that broke off. I'm just going to let it run. This is just really pretty. I'm going to have to you know, there's little tiny things like this. That's pretty cool. I'm going to have to decide on if I'm going to move this to 120 or let it run one more week. Oops. So we're going to take... Wow. I am just super happy with the way these stones feel coming with that borax in there. The borax is doing nothing for the grinding other than making the slurry thicker. That's just pretty on so many levels. You can see the chatoyancy in there, or whatever the moonstone is called. Moonstone essence, adular essence? I don't know, one of them. Gorgeous, gorgeous pattern. Let's drop that off. Ooh. Can't wait till these get polished. You know, there's a couple pieces like this one that needs more time in 6090. This, I wonder if that came out of there. Nope, too big. All right, we're gonna have to look at these really close off camera and make a decision on if it's going to move forward to medium or if it's going to stay in 6090 for one more week. It's like I want to avoid the problem I had last time I ran Moonstone. I kept it in 6090 too long and it just shredded it. And I don't want that to happen. So this will probably get moved forward to 120, because really, I mean, the shaping is pretty much done, and there's just like a couple of pieces that have some more work I'd like to see done. The rest of these are looking pretty smooth. It's really pretty to look at. Now they're calling this Salmon Moonstone. But really, it's more peachy. I don't know. These vendors kind of start venting colors. Oh, I think this one might break. It's got this little fracture line in here. Sorry, I was looking off camera. I have no idea if any of this was actually on the camera. But you see this right here? I think that's going to break. Let's test it. Oh, and it just did. Into 3 pieces, no less. Oh, and I drop it on the ground. Okay, we'll take these pieces out. Hang on a second here. Let me find that piece. Stuck on it. Okay. We're going to look at these really close off camera to save some video time. And I think it's going to move forward to the 120, 220, the stage 2 after a wash cycle. But I want to make sure I'm not going to have anything else like this that's going to shatter. Okay, be right back. And we're back with our Ametrine that has been running a total of 18 days in our stage 1, 6090 coarse silicone carbide grit. It does have ceramic media with it this last time and borax, and it had a nice thick slurry. So really geeked about that. You can see, you know, the citrine and then the amethyst, and together it makes an ametrine. So it's really nice that we're beginning to see that color. There's just a fracture line there that may never come out. Has a really super nice feel already in the hand. And then as it goes through the finer and finer grades of grit, the surface just becomes more and more smooth, and it will clear when we hit into the pre-polishes. So if it looks a little frosted now, that's fine, because it will clear up. We just want to get a little bit more of the host rock off of this that we're seeing there in those pits. I'd like to grind that a little bit more. And there's a little slurry left there. All right, where's that 6090 toothbrush? All right, that's our 6090 grit. So we don't want to mix anything, but we do want to clean that out. That got that is a little grit catcher, so it's going to stay in 6090. Yeah, I think this is going to get one more week because there's definitely shaping and pits that I'd like to have refined. That is super cool. You see the inclusion in there? It's really nifty. But I want all of this surface refined. There's a little host stuck in there. I don't think we're ever going to get that out because it's down into the surface. Might even be iron inclusions in there. But there's still... Yeah, I think the Ametrine needs one more week. It's coming along really nicely. I'm very happy with this. I think it's going to polish well in the end. It's a big pit there. I would like that ground out as much as possible. The whole edge is rough. I'm really happy with how these things are coming along. It's like this whole area here, those 3 sections. I need to stop looking at these off camera. Or, and look through the lens here so we can see what's going on. Yep, I'm not going to get a wash cycle. It's just going to move straight forward to another recharge of the stage 1 6090. And we will see it next week. Pink Aventurine has been running 1 week in 4670 coarse silicon carbide. And then it ran an 11-day cycle in stage 1 in the 6090 silicon carbide. So now let's take a look at it and see if it's ready to move forward to medium or not. It does appear to be shaping well. The slurry was super thick and I was really happy about that. There's just a little bits on the ends here. I wouldn't mind seeing ground down a bit. Just a little bit on the fracture line there. It's on the cleavage. Overall, this is looking really nice. It does look like chunks of ham to me. It must be getting dinner time because I'm starting to think about food when I look at rocks. I think we've all done that. I mean, these stones, they look like cubes because the vendor had cut them on a table saw or some sort of a saw to make them tumbling rough. And that's why they're kind of uniformly, I say that with air quotes, cube shaped. And I'm all right with that, you know, because there's like a minimal pitting, very little to like no host rock, and this Aventurine is moving along really quickly. I mean, I could be really anal retentive with it and hold it for another week in stage 1, and I might just do that because I feel like I'd just be rushing it to move it to 120, because there's just little imperfections that I know later are going to make me crazy, and I know that they're not going to polish well. So why? I mean, just be patient now. Leave things in stage 1 longer. Yeah. That's a nice big chunk. Like 3 or 4, maybe 5 of these, 6, 7, 8 of these really big pieces. And yeah. Let's do another 60-90 on these. See these big pieces here. Just not willing to rush it. I know a lot of these smaller ones I could pull out, but I don't really want to be splitting this batch so soon. It's not going to hurt it. This seems to be a pretty sturdy stone, this pink Aventurine. I don't think it's going to damage it to stay in 60-90. There's a pretty big barrel here. So I'm not going to add any additional ceramic. There might be a little bit at the bottom. I'm going to distribute it better. But I'm just going to recharge this barrel with 60-90, keep it in stage 1, and we'll see it next week. Pink Aventurine. That was really fast. Black Onyx has been running in stage 1, 60-90 coarse silicone carbide grit for 3, 4, 5 weeks, and no ceramic media to this point. It is just beautiful. I love the pattern in this onyx, but I do think it's going to require maybe another week. The slurry was nice and thick. We did add the borax to the slurry, and I totally recommend it. I think we're going to need another week in 60-90. There's still a lot that needs to be worn down. Still some shaping that needs to happen. This onyx is really hard. I mean, I know it's a MOHS 7, but still, it just seems harder. Than what I would have thought. Well, let's see, there's... Yeah, this definitely needs a lot of work. Some stones just stay longer in stage 1, and we're okay with that. Here's a tiny little chip that came off one of these pieces. And of course, it's still wet from the rinse. And we want to keep them wet most of the time. Wow. Yeah, I'm not even willing to pull anything out on this to split the batch. It just really just needs more time. Gosh, this is so cool. This is so cool. I think this is my favorite piece. Yep. Needs more time in 6090. Okay, we'll see Black Onyx next week. And we're back with our White King's Quartz. It has been running in 6090 stage 1 silicone carbide for a hot minute. Gosh. I don't know, man. It's been running a while. We used it to fill this barrel. It's been running like at least a month. So it is coming along really, really well. It's in a mixed barrel. That's why I'm not really all that sure about how long it's been running. It's really hard to see on these white stones if there's damage or not, but you can feel it. And that's why we got to trust our fingers instead of our eyesight when we're inspecting our stones. I think most of the shaping is done. I'm not really seeing a lot of pits, but I am seeing fracture lines. And that's just the nature of quartz. Not sure if I want this to go one more week or move it to 120. It's feeling overall like it's 90% there. I did find one chip in the barrel. And the ceramic media, because there's a lot of bigger stones in here with the pink rose quartz. It was also in this barrel. The ceramic media is getting beat up pretty bad. But I'd rather have the media beat up than these stones. Wow, I don't know. I think it can go like a wash cycle and go to 120. I mean, there's like a couple of them have just little tiny bits. I don't know if I want to keep running it forever. In stage 1, I'd like to move some of these projects forward, but I don't want to be sorry by moving it forward too soon. Is there grit in there? I think that's grit. Let's scrub that out. So like that one could benefit from more time in 6090. More time in stage 1. Trying to move quickly. Still have a whole nother barrel to get through today. So much of this is ready to move forward. Yep, I'm going to be splitting this batch. I'm going to be moving a lot of it to 120. I don't know how much is going to be left for a 6-pound barrel. We may not run the 6-pound barrel if I don't have enough stone for it. Yeah, okay. White King's Quartz, most of it's going to be a wash cycle, move to 120, which is stage 2, and then some of it's going to go another week in stage 1. We'll be right back with another stone. Our rose quartz has been running for months and months in stage 1 at different stages. It's been pulled off the barrels, it's been held for all kinds of stuff. And I think these last few pieces are finally ready to move to 120. Now these are bigger pieces, and that's why they've been taking so long. You see, like, just there's that one spot right there, and then this fracture, which will probably never tumble out. Some of it you just have to let go. And I think, I mean, it's feeling so nice that most of it is gonna, yeah, I think we're still gonna have like 4 pieces left. This one's finally feeling really good. It's a little bit in here. I'm gonna try it in the 120, and if the 120 doesn't smooth that out, I can always bust it back. These are going back in the barrel for more stage 1, and then these are going to go to stage 2. They're going to be held back for a barrel. Okay, be right back. Okay, we are back with our Prairie Agate that has been running in stage 1, 6090 coarse silicone carbide grit since the beginning of August. So 8, 9, 10 weeks or so. And we've been pulling out pieces that are ready to move forward. And these are just the few that need just a little bit more time in stage 1. Just trying to feel them here to see. This one feels pretty good, except for right here. Wow, this one's delightful. There's a couple little spots though. Yeah. Getting closer. Getting closer. Huh. It's right here on this end. You can kind of see it. I kind of want that ground out just a bit more. Yeah, that needs more work. Ooh, that needs a lot more work on that side, and there's a little in there. Not moving forward. I think I pulled out 1, maybe 2 pieces that can move forward, and the rest of these are going to have to do stage 1 again. I'm going to move this one to the garden. I'm just going to take it out right now. This is always going to be a grit catcher, and you can still see there's a little grit slurry left in there. I'm just going to move it to the garden instead of continuing, because some stones are just never going to make it no matter how much we want them to. That had a little crystal bug that's coming out. You can see I'm squirting out some grit. Some slurry still in there. This is in 6090. Use our 6090 toothbrush. See if we can get that out of there. There we go. And then you can see that crystal bug. Okay, still needs more time in the 6090. So this lovely mixed barrel that we've been running, this is all that's left in it. It's barely one layer. So I'm probably going to start something new in this barrel. I'm not sure. I gotta see how much is left. I might have to combine this barrel with something else so that we've got enough to run it. Otherwise, I'm gonna see if I have a 3-pound barrel open and put part of it in a 3-pound barrel and just hold the rest. Okay, well, we'll be back. We're back with our Petrified Wood, which has been in stage 1, 6090 coarse silicone carbide grit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 weeks. So it's been a pretty long time. We keep reducing the quantity down by, breaking off what needs to go into 120 and setting it aside. This is, of course, still wet from the rinse cycle. Some of these pieces are still going to require a little bit more time, but I think we can move quite a bit forward to medium. Wow, that's pretty cool. Oh, it didn't break. Yay, we still have our funny shaped piece of petrified wood here. It did smooth out quite a bit on the underside. I'm pretty happy about that. We are not going to get rid of all the fracture marks. They're just too deep. Wow. It's really coming along nicely. So like this is just never going to come out. We're not going to be able to grind away enough to get that without sacrificing mass of the stone. So some of these pieces are just going to be imperfect. But the way this stuff feels on the rest of the surfaces is really amazing. It's almost silky smooth. And then you come across these. And I think we're going to have to live with it. It's been so many weeks already. We have lost quite a bit of mass. There's not a whole lot left, but they're still decent sizes. So I think we are going to just do a wash cycle and move everything forward. There might be 1 or 2 pieces that we hold back. Like this is going to become a garden stone. It just has too many valleys on all the surfaces for it to ever be a good tumbled stone. So this one, as pretty as it is going to go into the garden. Really pretty. This spot is never going to grind out. And it's not going to polish either. The rest of the stone will. Yeah. Not as perfect as I would like. They're really interesting. All right, there's a gouge out of this one. It's not a broken piece. It's just from, you know, when we started, it's still like that, and it just hasn't smoothed out. So we're just going to have to let it be. I'm starting to dry on us here. Yeah. Well. Okay. I think the petrified wood is going to go into a wash cycle. And then we're going to put it into medium. We have an awful lot going into medium this week. And I think after we get these medium runs done, it'll be time to open up that vibratory tumbler and start using that for the pre-polishes and just move these cycles along. Cut some time down. Wow. That's a pretty piece. I like the green in it. Interesting patterns. Okay. We are done with petrified wood and we are going to move it forward. And then the last stone that we have to look at today, it's also been in 6090. Wow. Pretty cool. Okay. These are going to get moved forward. We will be right back. And we're back with what's left of our Snakeskin Jasper that's still in stage 1, which is the 6090 Coarse silicone carbide grit. It has been running, oh gosh, 9 weeks. And this is what's left. Everything else has been set aside to run a medium cycle. You see that cleavage mark here. On this Jasper piece. The rest of it looks pretty good. I'm not happy with this whole area down here. Again, I don't think it's ever going to grind out. So these flaws that are on here, we can either live with or we can make it a garden stone. So while these are not 100% perfect, I am going to move them forward. Sometimes I just think it gets to a point where it's just ground all it's going to grind, and then you're just left shrinking mass for no improvement on the stone. Now this one had a lot, all these little banding marks you see here. It has a texture difference, and I was worried about undercutting, but it looks like it's finally smoothed enough. So we can move it forward too. Yeah, all of it. Okay, we are going to throw this in a wash cycle also. Our Snakeskin Jasper can finally join the rest of it and go to medium. Wash cycles and move forward. And then we will see it next week. That is all we have for this week. It has been quite a bit. And I'm really looking forward to seeing all the progress next week. We've got a lot moving forward. A couple barrels are staying in stage 1. And who knows, maybe next week we will have the vibratory tumbler started with our processes. Okay, everybody stay safe. Have a good week, and we'll see you next time.